feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue old home.
Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry seas, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls,
making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue old home. Upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on. Read the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue
Coast Congregation of Atlanta for our virtual service. We have a very exciting service for you this morning. Everything we've been doing before, but we've added a dance this morning for you to do, for you to dance. So happy you're here on Mother's Day. Hope you brought your mother to church with you, no matter where she is in the country. And this is for mothers and all those who mother to other people. We are so glad to be together. Taryn's husband, James Richards, is with me this morning, so we are going to play some fantastic music together, starting with the fabulous hymn, Come Sing a Song With Me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come sing, dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. So happy you are all here with us. It is the best place to watch a service anywhere on the planet Earth.
Thank you so much, Don. Good morning. It is indeed a family affair this morning at UUCA. We are joined by musician and my husband, James Richards. So we want to take a moment to wave hello to our kids, Towns and Langston, who may or may not be watching, but ask that we say hi. And also, I will just welcome my mother, who is watching this morning on our live stream and has been watching all of our live streams for quite a while now. So hi, Mom. Thanks for the poem. My mom contributed a little bit to this service today. So this is our beloved community that changes lives, and we are so glad you are joining us in this way from your home this morning. We are now worshiping live stream until further notice. Our staff are now working from home. They can be reached via email. Check out our website, UUCA's website, and the weekly update email for ongoing updates about our Sunday morning live stream worship, our Good Enough Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m., followed by a live chat, followed by Vespers each Wednesday, and other programs that we are bringing right to your home. We do hope that you will continue to do your part to stop the spread of this virus. Stay home as much as you possibly can. Wear masks if you go out. Let us all follow the advice of the public health experts in this regard. We are now deep into our worship series we are calling How We Thrive. These extraordinary times require extraordinary lights, and we know now it will not be enough to attempt to keep things the way they were before this pandemic, to expect the same out of ourselves or others. We will now need to shine brighter for each other, to encourage each other, to lift each other up. Tune in next Sunday, May 17th, for our annual Coming of Age service. That's right, we will do a Coming of Age service next Sunday where our youth will share their Coming of Age credo statements, their statements of what they believe. They will speak about things such as interconnectedness, love of science, change, kindness, and God. You won't want to miss this fabulous worship service next Sunday. Also next Sunday, May 17th, at 12:30 p.m., we will have our annual meeting, which will take place via a Zoom webinar. Please refer to the congregational letter you received in the mail for guidance for how to participate via Zoom. We will elect, at this meeting, the congregation will elect the president-elect, the finance trustee, 3 at-large board trustees, 2 nominating committee members, 2 stewardship co-chairs, and a partridge in a pear tree. I'm sorry, that's not true. In addition, the congregation has the opportunity to implement our anti-racism, anti-oppression, and multicultural commitment as it relates to hiring an additional minister. All of the absentee ballots for this meeting must be received by UUCA by Tuesday, May 12th. That's this Tuesday, in order to be counted. Thank you so much for your commitment to UUCA, our beloved community that changes lives. And we look forward to seeing you at a town hall. There's one today at 12:30 on Zoom also, and there's another one Wednesday evening after Vespers at 7:30 p.m. And we also look forward to seeing you at the congregational meeting May 17th at 12:30. Today, after the worship, we also invite all of you, visitors, anyone, don't have to be a member of UCA, to come to our social hour happening immediately after the worship service. If you have not already, please sign up to get an invitation to the Zoom Room social hour by following the link in the weekly update or the link that is being provided for you in the live stream chat right now as I am speaking, I think, I hope, and I believe. We are in the mystery together, so please be gentle with yourself and be gentle with us. Though through the live chat, we can still express love and care for each other. In fact, it is more important to express our feelings for each other and our acts of radical welcome than ever before. I invite you into that sweetness with each other on the live stream chat. Please take a moment to welcome each other into our worship today, and especially to welcome anybody who may be visiting our worship for the very first time. Please let them know what a welcoming, radically loving congregation we are. So go ahead and greet your neighbor now on our live stream chat. Lovely. Once again, we are glad you've chosen to worship with us this morning. Won't you please join me now as we light our chalice, and won't you please light your own chalice at home? I know you've got one. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking. Invite all who yearn for acceptance and ignite our passion for justice and peace.
Now, Elizabeth Field, the head of our UU Moves group, is going to teach you a dance.
Good morning and happy Mother's Day. You're about to hear a song that we know you'll want to get up and dance to. If you're unsure of where to start, UU Moves and I have come up with some movement for you to get you started. This movement can be done sitting or standing. And here it goes. Suma, Yodan, Sooner you're gone. We are shaking the tree. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sooner you're gone. Sooner you're gone. We are shaking the tree. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The other line is, it's your day, a woman's day. It's your day, a woman's day. All right, there you go. We've got a starting place for you. Now make sure you make some room and move with us.
Hey, Okala, Okala, hey, Okala, soon you're gone, soon you're gone. We are shaking the tree. Soon you're gone, soon you're gone. We are shaking the tree. Your time dreaming of a better life. Waiting your time, you're more than just a wife. You don't have to do what your mother has done. She has done. This is your life, this new life has begun. It's your day, woman's day. It's your day. Turning the tide, you're all the income away. Turning the tide, you know you're nobody's slave. Yeah. Find your sisters and brothers who can hear all the truth in what you say. They can support you when you're on your way. It's your day, woman's day. It's your day. In the tree, changing your ways, changing those surrounding you, changing your ways more than any man can do. Open your heart, show him the anger and the pain, so you heal. Maybe he's looking for his womanly side. In the tree. Your day, one soon know you're gone. It's your day in the tree. Hey, woman's day, it's your day. Woman's day, know you're gone. It's your day in the tree. Hey, woman's day, soon you're gone. Soon start shaking the tree.
Thank you, James and Taryn. I haven't sung a harmony in so long. It feels so good. It's like the best thing in the world. Next up, we have Henry Delaney and his dad, Jason Delaney, with our movement prayer.
First, we bow to honor the Spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of Spirit. We bring these gifts unto ourselves with gratitude and breathe and smile. We share these gifts with the world. We remember to be present. Honor, embrace, gratitude, share, be present.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Let us put hands upon hearts and feel the warm connection. Let love in this moment flow. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love will heal the world. At this time, we hear the joys and sorrows of this worshiping community. We send love to Kevin Coffey, who lost his job this week. Kevin welcomes emails and phone calls of support during this stressful time. We send love to Don Milton's mom, Rita Milton, who celebrated her birthday last night via Zoom with her family. We send our love and our healing energy to UUCA members and those throughout Atlanta who work for the CDC or our healthcare staff or other essential workers who are now working under more stressful and unsafe conditions. We hold in our hearts all those who have lost their mothers, who have had to say goodbye, who approach this day with sadness. We hold tenderly all those who wanted to be mothers and never were. May all beings find connection. May all people find comfort. May all of us find new ways to be more loving to one another. You are invited now to speak the names of people you are holding in your heart this morning, people who could use some loving energy coming their way. Speak their names into the room where you are and write their names into our live chat so we may all hold them in love and comfort. Write their names into this holy moment now. As human beings have gathered for millennia, so we gather on this day in our way, to gently surrender to something beyond ourselves, to humbly acknowledge our mistakes, to ask forgiveness, to seek hope and renewal, to honor the earth that supports and sustains life, to remember that all beings are inextricably and mysteriously connected, to feel that connection. Now, we still our bodies, we still our minds, we relax into the place where we are. We take in a big breath and we exhale. We relax into this moment that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the wise silence.
Anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
And now a word from our Director of Lifespan Religious Education, Laura Beth Brown.
Good morning. I'm Laura Beth Brown, Director of Lifespan Religious Education, and I am having some of my favorite fruits for breakfast this morning. Clementines, raspberries, oh, these blackberries. So good. An apple and some strawberries. And yes, I'm going to have all of this fruit for breakfast. And I'm curious, what are your favorite fruits? Perhaps you can type them into the chat right now. Will you do that? Type your favorite fruits into the chat. And while you do that, I want you to imagine that it is a hot day. You've had very little to eat. You're probably a bit thirsty, and you spy a bowl of your favorite fruits in the shade under a tree. And this is how our wisdom tale begins. Our story tells the concept of Ubuntu. Ubuntu, which in the African Xhosa culture means I am because we are. So in the story, an anthropologist, who is a person who studies people, proposes a game to the children of an African tribe. He puts a bowl of sweet fruit underneath a tree and says to the children that whoever gets there first wins the entire bowl of fruit. So when he tells the children to run, they all grab hands, run together, and then sit down together and enjoy the treats. Well, when the anthropologist asked why they ran together when one of the children could have enjoyed the entire bowl, they said, Ubuntu. How can one of us be happy if all the other ones are sad? How can one of us be happy if all the other ones are sad? I am because we are. You know, that is not the message I often hear in our larger world today. I hear that winning is the most important thing. I hear that if I need to ask for help, then I have failed in some way. I also hear the message that getting what I want is more important than serving those in need. These messages, they don't reflect our Unitarian Universalist values. Like Ubuntu, our UU principles teach us that every person is important and that everyone deserves to be treated fairly and with compassion. You know, one of the ways that we have as a global community practiced Ubuntu during this pandemic is by staying home. Yep. It's important for every person to stay home if we are all to experience the sweet treats of safety and health. We need to stay home as much as possible. And on this Mother's Day, I wonder if we can think about and celebrate all the ways that we are taking care of each other, all the ways that we are nurturing and mothering each other from a distance. How are you practicing Ubuntu?
Thank you so much, Laura Beth. James, we need to do a better job of teaching our children Ubuntu in our home. Thank you so much for that reminder. You know, there are ways that we are thriving as a congregation at UCA now that were not really happening before. You know, before in our previous lives, we had soccer practice and long work hours maybe, or just lots of different places to go and obligations. And so we didn't have time to take the Joy Nisker Murphy's midweek yoga class. And so I would come in on Wednesday nights and see Joy's class. Usually had maybe 1, 2, or 3 people in the class. I mean, to be real, like 1 or 2. And then I found out that the online yoga class that's happening now during this pandemic, well, she reports 18 people coming to the yoga class, 20 people coming to the yoga class. And that's how it really feels at UUCA right now. You know, I used to come in on Sundays and see the list for flowers, for people to donate flowers. And frankly, most of the time, the list was blank and no one was signing up to give flowers. I have to tell you, you have seen flowers every Sunday of this pandemic because now people are sort of vying for the opportunity to contribute flowers to our worship service. I mean, we had various people who wanted to contribute flowers this Sunday for Mother's Day. And the lucky winners were Laura Wingfield and the Wingfield family, who offered these beautiful flowers in honor of Laura's mother, who passed away on Mother's Day weekend 5 years ago. All of this abundance showing up, such beauty showing up on our doorstep on Sunday mornings, when really we weren't making the effort to bring those flowers before. Now, before we were not really organized according to our neighborhood. We were just this vast kind of regional congregation spread out throughout Atlanta. And now we have people stepping up to lead neighborhood circles, which are really just small communities of care where you can drop off a meal if someone's not feeling well, or drive someone to church on Sunday when we get back to doing that. Just those little acts of kindness and neighborliness in real life to the people who are close to you. And people are signing up for those neighborhood circles in droves. You know, that didn't happen before. This is not something that we had before the pandemic. And attendance, my friends, is up. Attendance is up on Sunday mornings. Attendance is way up on Wednesday night for our Vespers and for our religious education programming that we're putting out into Zoom, for our children's worship. I mean, attendance all around is up. And studies and reports are showing, articles are being written right now, demonstrating that even whenever this pandemic is over, whenever people are allowed to return to sort of their life in a different way, in a new way, people's spiritual lives will be more important than ever. They will continue to be more important than ever. People are prioritizing community. They're prioritizing connection. They're prioritizing wisdom, spiritual wisdom. That search for truth that gets you through. That's what life is like now. That's what UUCA is offering, not just to our own community in Atlanta, but now to people all across the country who are tuning in to our Sunday morning worship. And we are so glad you are here to join in the abundance like this bouquet. So beautiful and diverse in ways that we can't even quite wrap our minds around. Just so abundant now. We want to continue this abundance each and every week in a time of incredible scarcity and incredible limitation. We are expanding the limits of what our congregation can do. So please continue that cycle of abundance. It is getting me through personally just to know that we are engaging in all these new ways, that our staff is kind of happier and more enthusiastic and more bonded than ever. It's really exciting, all the work going on behind the scenes right now. So please, make your contribution now to the continued work of this congregation and of all the abundance and all the ways that we are showing up for one another. Keep us going strong so we can all keep our spirits lifted. The slides on the screen will help guide you through giving in new ways via text and PayPal. Well, really all you have to do is go to uuca.org/give, and that will take you through the PayPal option to give and the texting option. And of course, you can still go full analog, and you can mail your gift to UUCA at our mailing address in the form of a check. Every gift is precious and beautiful, like each one of these flowers. We are so grateful to enjoy the spiritual abundance of this community, even in difficult and scarce times. So to support the mission and ministries of UUCA, this morning's offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger, an endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, its only seed. It's the heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never takes a chance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give, and the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. When the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long, and you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong. Just remember, in the winter, far beneath the bitter snow, lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose.
It's an honor to sing with you, and it's an honor to sing for you. And it's a blessing to sing with my family for you. Blessings on this amazing, resilient, abundant community. I feel so lucky to be a part of it. And I hope you do too. Blessings on your gift. May it go far and wide to spread more abundance to more people who are struggling in scarcity. Blessings on your offering. Won't you please join me now in the dedication of our offering, which is on your screen. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community. We dedicate our lives, and these are offerings. This morning's reading comes from the poet Julia Kasdorf, called What I Learned from My Mother. And this poem came to me from my mother. I learned from my mother how to love the living, to have plenty of vases on hand in case you have to rush to the hospital with peonies cut from the lawn, black ants still stuck to the buds. I learned to save jars large enough to hold fruit salad for a whole grieving household, to cube home-canned pears and peaches, to slice through maroon grape skins and flick out the seeds with a knife point. I learned to attend viewings, even if I didn't know the deceased, to press the moist hands of the living, to look into their eyes and offer sympathy as though I understood loss even then. I learned that whatever we say means nothing. What anyone will remember is that we came. I learned to believe I had the power to ease awful pains materially like an angel. Like a doctor, I learned to create from another's suffering my own usefulness. Like a doctor, I learned to create from another's suffering my own usefulness. And once you know how to do this, you can never refuse. To every house you enter, you must offer healing, a chocolate cake you baked yourself, the blessing of your voice, your chaste touch. So ends the reading. Have you ever hugged a saint? Or rather, has a saint ever hugged you? I have been hugged by a saint. You may have noticed by now, if you've been tuning in, I'm kind of an experienced glutton. I know some of you are kindred spirits. You want to bite your teeth into life, live the adventure as though on a perpetual dare. Actually, I feel like Don Milton is a lot like this too. So when your coworker turns to you and asks, do you want to leave work and go hug a saint? You say yes. Which is how I met Sri Mata, very long name Devi. I'm not going to try and pronounce her name, it is very long, but she is known to millions as Amma, the hugging saint, the hugging guru. And there I think you can see a picture of Amma hugging someone. Amma, meaning mother. The authorized story of Amma's life, which has been translated into 31 different languages, intertwines a tale of grinding Indian poverty along with the fantastical. She was born poor into a low caste, but as a child, she would give away whatever valuables the family had to the less fortunate, which prompted her father to brutally punish her. Also, from an early age, she hugged strangers. Eventually, she left home, as the story goes, to live in the wild, where she survived by eating whatever she could find. This according to an interview with Jake Halpern in the New York Times. By the time she was a young woman, the authorized biography continues, she was performing miracles. The legends go kissing cobras, diverting rainstorms, and feeding more than 1,000 people from a single small pot. Gurus emerged thousands of years ago in India as learned explainers of the Upanishads, philosophical teachings underpinning the Hindu religion. Now, the guru typically was always someone to be awed. You stand back, you keep your distance from a guru, and you are dazzled by their wisdom. They are generally not big on snuggling. But Amma turned this entire notion, thousands of years of guru tradition, on its head by combining the role of the spiritual guide with that of the mother who protects and comforts. Amma's transformation from an eccentric girl into the mother guru began in the late 70s, and word of her hugging spread across the land. She began to receive a steady stream of visitors, many of them Americans, like Neil Rosner, a Chicago native who would take up residence at the ashram in India. Mr. Rosner, who moved to India after graduating high school, still lives at Amritapuri, told the reporter in the Times that he was one of the first to donate a significant amount, $10,000, from selling a rare coin collection to improve the ashram. And before long, it had a dormitory, a free medical clinic, and a vocational job training center. And now it is this huge, sprawling campus of the university. Amma's mission is simple: to embrace the world. To that end, she travels with an entourage and takes over convention centers all over the world, offering food, wares, and wisdom. I visited Amma during her week-long stint at the Javits Center, which is a sprawling convention center on Manhattan's west side. Navigating that tight crowd, trained in subway maneuvering, my friend and I entered the Great Hall and noticed how many families of all ages, children and elderly, were waiting online. A line that snaked around the Javits Center for hours. Along the way, you could shop for clothing, for prayer beads, incense holders. Folks served a huge vegan lunch to the masses, cafeteria style, for just a couple dollars, including some of the best chai I have ever tasted in my life. It was difficult to hear Amma's talk through the interpreter in such a huge, crowded space, but I do remember it was something about love, introspection, and selflessness. Then the hugging began. Now, after a decade living in Asheville, North Carolina, land of the drum circles, the scene was not foreign to me. The Javits Center, normally reserved for car and boat shows, was now lightly patchouli scented. It was a hippie fest of white people in loose clothing, some dancing, others meditating, a few crying. After many hours, I came to Amma's staging area and followed the urgent beckoning of her entourage, her assistants, until suddenly I was up. It reminded me of childhood trips to the mall to see Santa, the elves ushering me forward with an urgency until I arrived at the big guy and realized all at once he was a stranger. And suddenly, time stood still. Background noise disappeared into a silent whoosh in my ears, and it was time to make the most of one singular moment. Amma looked into my face, and she brought me in close. Her robes, you can't see in the picture we showed earlier, but she's wearing these huge white robes. Her robes enveloped me as much as her arms and her body did. She smelled amazing. We breathed together, and it was one of the top 10 best hugs of my lifetime. I didn't know I was in need of such tenderness, such full-bodied, nurturing care. I felt tiny in her arms like a child again. Tears sprung up out of nowhere. And just like that, it was time to move on. My intellect kicked in, reminding me what I was experiencing was my own projection being reflected back at me. I was the same person as before, but I had been loved in a new way. She loved me intimately, yet with the exact same energy she shared that love for all humanity. This love did feel pure and simple in the way a mother's love can be pure and simple. Writer Jake Halperin asked Amma how she maintained this pace of hugging thousands of people in one day. She smiled in response. Then she pinched the journalist's cheek and began to tickle him, the way a mother might tease a troublesome toddler. And through an interpreter, she said, "I am connected to the eternal energy source, so I am not like a battery that gets used up." Alma has no children of her own, so it is not giving birth that necessarily makes someone a mother. You know this. You know people have mothered you into being who were not your mother of body. Perhaps they were women, perhaps they were not. Mothering is an act of nurturing tenderness, ferocious care for one another's life and safety. Mothering fights for your life, tends to your wounds, and makes you feel you belong to someone. And this is what the world needs right now. Not for mothers to care for their own children above all other children, but for you to remember how you have been mothered, to remember it well, and to mother to each other. Now, we must care for all our elders as though they were our own parents. Now we must care for our neighbors like they are our children. Now we must care for each other with the same sense of justice that someone once offered to us in our becoming. The act of mothering extends far beyond one's own children. As universalists who understand all life as precious, we must care for each other's children as much as our own. That is the only way forward now. And it is mothers who inspire us to love other people's children as fiercely as our own. On August 9th, 2014, Michael Brown, a black 18-year-old boy, was fatally shot by a white Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson, touching off months of protest and violence. A few years later, Michael Brown's mother, Leslie McSpadden, ran for Ferguson City Council to work on police accountability for the city. Sabrina Fulton, Trayvon Martin's mother, ran for county commissioner of Miami-Dade County. She said, "Since 2002, I have advocated tirelessly to empower our communities and to make them safer. But the work is not done." And then, of course, there's our own Congresswoman in the northern Atlanta suburbs, Lucy McBath, whose 17-year-old son, Jordan Davis, was shot and killed following an argument at a gas station in Florida. The shooting and its aftermath received national attention and prompted discussion about controversial self-defense laws, commonly now known as stand your ground laws. In the depths of their personal despair, these mothers extended their love and their care for other people's sons and other people's daughters, rather than just fade into grief, which would have been well within their right to do so. But their empathy, their care broke the boundaries of the word family. Maybe it was because African American families and communities often include a more expansive sense of family, with extra cousins and aunties and uncles as a means of solidarity and survival. These mothers felt like taking their mothering out into the political landscape. Mothers who lost sons to the white supremacist state violence, ready to fight for other mothers' sons and daughters. How are you mothering someone? Who in your life, not your own children, but who else are you caring for, fighting for, pep talking? Who are you giving your energy to until it hurts a little? I know for a fact many of you are taking care of each other in this way. And you know, all genders can mother each other. The poet Elak Vade Menon writes, "I am sorry that it took a virus to help me remember that simple fact that we breathe the same air." Friends, it is time to revolutionize mothering, to practice love on the front lines, to practice Ubuntu, to culture change, to change our culture into a culture that fights for each other and not for our own, not running our own race, not our own chance to eat all the fruit, but to fight for someone's life who is not blood family. It's sending a graduation gift to a high school or college senior who you know who's graduating but doesn't have a ceremony to attend. And it's running for Ahmaud Arbery, the 25-year-old young man who was murdered in cold blood by two white men while on a morning jog a couple months ago in Georgia. It's running for him on his birthday, signing petitions and sending money to his mother, Wanda, for funeral expenses, and fighting like hell for a more fair and just Georgia, for justice for all children, black children especially, but all children too. It is caring about school board races and education issues, though you have no children. It is being someone's in case of emergency call. It is being a relentless voice of unbridled support. Someone taught you how to mother. Maybe it was your own mother. Maybe it was someone else in your life. Someone taught you to create from another's suffering your own usefulness. Someone took you in when you had screwed up, or maybe when you were just out in the cold. If you've never watched the Ryan Murphy show, Pose, about ballroom culture in 1980s New York, well, I recommend it. It shows a whole nother slice of life in America, one where Black and Latino LGBTQ youth, who are often abandoned by their own families of origin, rejected or cast out, would find and create new families called houses, with house mothers who would take them in, who would help pay for their education, help them keep them safe from violence on the streets or from HIV/AIDS, help them find housing. House mothers provide community, safety, guidance. My friend Michael Robertson is a public health educator. He's an activist, a scholar, and he's an advisor and producer on the TV show Pose. And above all, he is a house father to dozens of young men, women, and trans folks, and he cares for each of them deeply. I'm friends with him on Facebook. He's always posting photos of them, attending their graduations with them, keeping watch over their safety and their development over the years, like any good mother would. His love for his children is fierce. And maybe it's because he wears camo all the time and he talks about voguing all the time, but I would describe it as militant tenderness. In fact, in an interview, he described it as militant tenderness. Someone passed down an old recipe to you. Someone brought you soup when you were sick. Someone came to all your performances. I remember that hug from Amma like it was yesterday. It's the same hug I offered to you on Sundays in the receiving line. It's the same hug you offer to someone who needs a little TLC today. And I'm glad I remember that hug. I didn't know how long I would have to go without hugging people. We have never needed mothering more than we do right now. The mothers within ourselves, be they voices in our heads full of mundane nuggets of wisdom, or just a feeling of total comfort. That's the eternal energy flowing across time, across generations of mothers carrying on the tradition of showing up to someone's hardship, showing up to someone's life. So today, let us celebrate not just mothers, but all the ways we mother to each other. Pure selflessness. Maybe just a moment in a relationship, maybe the entire relationship. But each of us, if we do try, can be like Amma, embracing the whole world. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Our last hymn this morning, a fabulous hymn by Dr. Isay Barnwell. It's called We Are. There's no place to breathe in this song. It's staggered breathing. Breathe whenever it feels good. It just kind of keeps rolling forward. This is We Are.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
Our spiritual takeaway this morning is to think of an act of mothering that was given to you, that you now have within you. Find a way to give it to someone else now, someone in need of nurturing. This is how we will get through. And as we extinguish our chalice this morning, we will extinguish this flame, but not the light, the pure light of militant tenderness, of love that wants equality and justice for all children, not Ubuntu. All of that we will take with us into our week until we meet again. Go in peace, go in love. Blessed be, and please enjoy this outtake. Oh, Don's going to introduce the outtake.
A huge joy making music with Taryn and James and Jeep this morning. So our UU Moves group did a full choreographed dance to Shake in the Trees. And so while we couldn't have them all here this morning, we have them for our music for going forth. Enjoy. We'll see you next week.
Waiting your time, dreaming of a better life. Waiting your time, you're more than just a wife. Don't have to do what your mother has done, she has done. This is your life, this new life has begun. It's your day, Woman's Day. It's your day, Woman's Day. Turning the tide, you are on the incoming wave. Turning the tide, no, you are nobody's slave. Find your sisters and brothers who can hear all the truth in what you say. They can support you when you're on your way. It's your day, Woman's Day. It's your day, Woman's Day. Sunu yagon, we are shaking the tree.
me, I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue old home.
Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry seas, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue road home. Upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on. Read the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat.
are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate, greed, and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, the world would die. Peace and freedom is our cry. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building. We're building a new way. Yeah, I heard it. We're building us a new way. Yeah, I heard it on the front line. That we're building us a new way.
You are the new day. You are the new day. I will love you more than me and more than yesterday. If you can but prove to me you are the new day. Send the sun in time for
Have you ever seen the sky so beautiful, colorful, wide and wonderful? Have you ever felt the sunshine so brilliantly raining down over you and me? Have you ever wanted more? Wanted